engage with us to make sure that why that part of keeping ourselves is extremely important. That's what we're going to do on this. So it's part of this session, this event on the 11th of February. So looking forward to it. Two things మనకి ఇక్కడ ఏంటంటే while event goes on from the morning to evening, night lo we do the awards function. We work very closely with STPI, Hysea and others to sort of curate this awards and do this. So Kavita Garu will talk about service awards and what we're doing to do in a minute, but that's our flagship awards program where and Hysea Garu will talk about product awards that we're launching. Between both of them, we're going to cover product innovation, corporate innovation and service awards that we will do in the evening. The elaborate process that we go since last 2 months, people have been engaging to look at data, run campaign, shortlist startups, and that's the event. And then the evening awards function, we're going to do some lifetime achievement awards. So we're going to do at least 2 lifetime achievement awards this time from different industries. So that's going to happen in the evening. So that's the structure. 10th we are doing a reception dinner with calling people across state bodies, state associations, government officials, some industry leaders to discuss and deliberate a little bit more. We have a good network of speakers both globally and from Hyderabad and other parts of the city coming in. Predominantly we have, for example, Phil Hurst who's coming, who's the CEO for a research company called HFS Research. He's going to talk a little bit. Mana event ki the awards function ki outside of Arvind Kumar Garu and who's from STPI DG, who's going to join us along with G Garu. We are expecting IT Minister and Chief Minister also to be present during the evening's award function that we could have. We also got a lot of prominent personalities who are going to come and talk. Mana Hyderabad lone healthcare is big, so we have both Nageshwar Reddy Garu and Sangeeta Reddy Garu talking about how in each of their capacities they're using technology and AI to help diagnose things faster and do things faster, but also scale their businesses and functions from a business standpoint. So that's there. We have an AI training company called Scientific, which has a cloud sourcing project. Their CEO is personally coming here. They're going to spend some times. Adi kakunda, we have a lot of virtual attendees, and they were not able to come. So we have CEO of DBS Bank who's sending his messages. Standard & Poor's, and it is a data company. It's a big $12 billion company. So their CEO is giving a small bite for the event, and congratulations to this event and how they're seeing Hyderabad and Telangana play a big role in their ecosystems. As well as, Real Page Nunchi, their CEO is also giving a note from a CEO landscape standpoint. So it's going to be a good mix of virtual speakers from abroad, with the virtual speakers who are coming, real speakers who are traveling here to be part of this session, and speakers across India who are coming with prominent presence across. We also have in the evening a virtual note with Krishnamurthy Subramaniam. He is on the IMF Executive Director for IMF. He's a government nominee on the IMF board, and he's also going to talk about, for example, in this fast-changing technology world, how does he foresee GDP and growth that's going to change along the way? So it's a good mix of speakers that we have lined up along with the awards function. I can't disclose one more thing, as maybe today or tomorrow we'll get confirmation, so we might have somebody else joining us as well. But that's the plan for today. So very excited. I think it's been a great teamwork for all the participants. We wanted Shrikant Lanka Garu also to come, who's the new Chief Strategy Officer and the Government Relationship Officer for the IT industry. He's traveling, he's not here. He sent his messages to us. He's also very excited, and we are working very closely with the government to see how we can scale Telangana and be the number one in the IT industry as we grow, at least from a business standpoint. I was talking to one of your journalists somewhere, and few data points, and మీరు చాలా న్యూస్ వింటున్నారు, గ్రోత్ ఇట్లా ఉంది, అలా ఉంది, lot of GCCs every day that are coming up. But headcount wise చూస్తే some services companies are making a lot of growth. Wipro ki, for example, Wipro, Cognizant, Vilaki, Hyderabad has become a big presence now, right? Outside of TCS and Infosys, we already knew. They have made leaps and bounds in adding headcount in Hyderabad and becoming their largest center in India. So we're seeing pretty much secular growth across, and hopefully the growth momentum continues with the change in technology and how we can manage the business. So that's what I wanted to say from my standpoint. Once everybody is finished, then we can sort of do a quick Q&A session if you have anything. I'll hand over to Kavita Garu to talk about our partnership and how she's been helping us to recognize IT companies in Telangana.
Thank you, Pressmeet Garu. So it's been my pleasure, the second year for me in person to be in this press meet. So last year was my first year. So during my last year when I was here for the event, we had the topic where we were celebrating AI. So this year I think the topic has gone a little further and we are all going to redefine our future with AI and something beyond AI, right? So the topic has evolved. So similarly, STPI, we always have had the mandate of promoting the IT and ITES exports of this country. So accordingly, we have also been recognizing all the IT units or the companies who have been part of this growth story of India. So when compared to pan-India exports, Mana Telangana is contributing 16.8% of the national exports. So this is a huge number. So we need to celebrate this contribution of the IT units who are there from the Telangana state. So not only this, every year I think STPI has been part of the awards function. And this year when we have seen the buzzword since last year also has been for the GCCs. So the contribution of GCCs to the Telangana exports, when we see, it is 38% of the exports from Telangana is from the GCCs. So which is a huge number. So we thought, how do we celebrate this contribution of GCCs? So we have a specific category for the GCCs during the awards this year. So out of the 5 major categories, 1 category is specifically for the GCC companies. So we would be celebrating and also understanding what exactly goes ahead in redefining our future by all the IT czars. So I think once again, I would request the complete IT fraternity to come and participate in this event to gain and also contribute in giving the knowledge to others. Thank you.
So as Prashant and Kavita Madam Chepinatlu, this summit, we are bringing a lot of speakers, both from global US and other countries, as well as people from other cities in India. So almost close to 50 speakers, are coming, are going to speak on the day. We're expecting about 1,500 delegates who will attend these, and about more than about 100 stalls or 150 stalls will be occupied by various companies which want to showcase their product solutions in technology. So we already covered what the summit and the list of speakers, that Prashant had covered. And ma'am has talked about the awards which are going to the large established companies. Now I'd like to invite Hysea to talk about what we're doing for the startups, because startups also contribute to the economy and development of the state, and they play a big role. So Hysea Rao will talk about what we are doing in the startups and the innovation award space. Hysea.
So Hysea is known for its technological prowess and representing 90% of the technology industry of Telangana. There is a special emphasis in Hysea for innovation, and which is fueled by both startups as well as enterprises. So these awards we have been doing for almost 28 years. or more. Neerja has the exact number. But in the last 10 years, the awards have really taken the center stage, primarily because innovation is really picking up in India and specifically in Hyderabad. Consistent with Hysea's goal of promoting Hyderabad as the innovation capital of India and the globe, the special emphasis is placed on entrepreneurship and innovation. So we have two types of awards. One is startup awards, which is 10x awards, and another one is on corporate innovation. So innovation is happening everywhere, but specifically more on the startups first. This year we have attracted more than 200 plus startup entries, out of which we have conducted about 4 rounds of evaluations. And the guiding factor for these awards is primarily the fairness and thoroughness. Fairness in the sense that just because some startup is not fully evaluated by the appropriate jury members, it should not suffer. So we have expanded the number of jury members to evaluate all these startups. So one of the guiding factors is every startup must be evaluated by at least 3 or 4 or 5 jury members to get a fair evaluation. That is one. And the thoroughness is to pick the right startups, the top startups, multiple rounds. In one round, we do an online evaluation. Then in the next round, we do a startup pitches. And then in the next round, we do a demo. And finally, we pick the top 10 startups. So that's the process we have been following. And out of the 200 or so startups, 124 have gone to the next round, and the 81 have gone to the third round. And finally, 41 are selected for the final round, out of which on February 11th, on the event day, right all through the expo, the evaluations will go on by the jury who will visit each of these startup pods and take a demo. And then instantly on that day itself, they will finalize the top 10. So we wouldn't know the top 10 winners until the last day, which is really going to cause excitement amongst the expo and amongst the jury and so on. And over the years, we have developed a good database of jury members that are belonging to various personas from the industry. We have business leaders, we have product architects, product leaders, product management experts, venture capitalists, technocrats, and industry leaders, business leaders, so on. So when you have this kind of jury which is distributed across multiple personas, you get a very thorough evaluation. And this is about the startups. Next one is corporate innovation. All our member companies have submitted, many of them have submitted their corporate innovations. And that also went through multiple rounds. And finally, we shortlisted from the 40 or so, we finally shortlisted about 12, which will be showcasing their capabilities on the February 11th. From there, we pick the top 3 or 4 or 5, depending on what the jury feels. So that's a brief explanation on the product awards process. However, once we finalize the top 10 winners or top X number of winners, we also provide enablement for them. It's not just enough if you say that, okay, you got an award, you're the award winner. That's not enough for startups to really go to the next level. So we provide enablement. We have industry partnerships with the Thai Hub and so on. So we pick the best enablement programs for each of these because we work closely together, and we provide market access and so on. This year, we are doing a compendium where all these 42 startups will be featured, and each startup will have one page, so that this compendium will be distributed towards our member companies, venture capitalists and industry leaders and angels and so on, so that they can go to those startups, not just the top 10, but there are good startups beyond the top 10. So all these will be in the compendium, which will be released very soon, and that compendium will be distributed to the industry. So that's the encouragement and the push we are providing towards startups. Thank you. Thank you.
Hysea, before I hand over to you, 2 things. So one is, since I forgot to mention this point, we're also doing a session. Chala startups have been set up in Hyderabad. We picked up 2 startups who really done really well and scaled. So we have a session in our main event on celebrating entrepreneurship, where we are covering a couple of startups in a fireside chat model on what got them to where they are. So it can be learning for other companies who are aspiring, other startups, one. To also think about what we can do to strengthen the ecosystem around us so that, we can enable better growth of many more startups like them who have scaled from a business standpoint. That's one. Rondodi, along the same lines, we're also curating a small panel which is talking about a bunch of investors who are investing in startups, talking about what do they look at when they make investments, so that people who are aspiring startups who are coming for sessions can also understand how they can shape and how they can secure funding as they grow and scale their businesses, right? So they go, they pick the right idea. Once they show their success, they're not cash strapped, and they can get the right sources of funding to sort of do that. So those are the two things that we're planning to do. And just before I hand over to Hysea garu, so 2019 lo meer gurtunchite, we did one very, very good report andi, which is Scale at Hyderabad ani. Essentially it talks about why Hyderabad should be and is the preferred destination of IT industry in India. And what does it take to get there? It's a very, very thorough report that we did 2019 lo. We did a small appendum to that 2 years ago. Here we are refreshing and doing a fresh report, which is 2025 edition, which is exactly 5 years away from when we did it. And Hysea garu will talk about how we're doing this. This report, we are doing it in partnership with KPMG, Eon, Hibbett, and CBRE, along with everybody else. So I'll hand it over to Hysea to talk a little bit about the report itself.
Yeah, thank you, Prashant. If you overall think about it, the event is about where AI and the technology is going. It is also about celebrating the various contributions from startups, promoting them, and also the contributions from the industry. Now, what that establishes in reality is Hyderabad is a great destination for doing all of this. Now, it has been in the past, and it will be also in the future, right? So what we felt is we really wanted a good mechanism to bring out the story consistently in a good report, which is current and updated and very relevant for current and the immediate future, so that it can be consumed by both the industry, by government, and whoever is interested in a more authentic and up-to-date information, right? So we worked on this report over the last 3 to 6 months, actually, in partnership with CBRE, Aon, and actually the report was prepared with the help of KPMG. So what does this report cover? So one is about, do we have the right talent here? We are talking about doing all of this stuff from Hyderabad. Do we have the talent mix and the skills to go ahead and deliver to the promise of what the future needs? Second is about, do we have the right domain expertise? One is about the talent. The second is about, do we have the right ecosystem and the domain expertise and the industry around it to be able to make it all a success, right? And then we talk about how the infrastructure and the various things that are available in order to support companies to either come up and set up their new centers or to grow their centers or invest in what is going on here. Do we have the right infrastructure and the support system available? And we also want to showcase how the industry and the city, with the support of the government, has been very resilient in the past. We talked about the last report in 2019, but the current report is 2025. But a big part of what happened in the last 3 to 5 years is the whole pandemic and how resilient the industry has been, continue to provide confidence globally to be a destination for growth and so on, right? So that is again something that we want to highlight. And we also want to highlight how close the partnership has been with the government in supporting the ecosystem and the industry to flourish. In addition to all this, when we want to have so much of talent coming into the city doing well, you also want to capture information about how this is a place for good quality of life, where people can from all parts of the country, all parts of the state can come live for a long period of time, have a good not only a good career but also a good life, right? So all around, when you look at it, this is a story that we all are very familiar with, but we really want to create all of this in a good formal report with up-to-date data and information that can be consistently used by not only the people in the industry, but also like from the government and everybody else who is looking at either investing or growing in Hyderabad, right? So we expect this report to be launched. It will be available in printed format, and we also expect it to be available online down the line. And the launch is targeted for the evening of February 11th. Thank you.
So such a major event and massive arrangements cannot be completed without support of many of our patron members, the ecosystem sponsors and ecosystem partners, and also the event sponsors. A lot of them are in the works. So our faculty who want to come in. So a lot of educational institutions are sending their faculty in groups so that they can learn these new concepts and topics. And lastly, of course, a little bit of the startup founders, and the whole buzz is because of them in the event. So this is what we can expect. The summit link, I think in the kit or in the information that is going to be provided to you, you will find it. It is hyseasummit.in. So HYSEASUMMIT.in. So that's the web link to the entire event and the rest of the programs. The speakers' names are published there, so we can go through those details. Prashant?
Maybe if there are questions, we can answer, but